Welcome back everyone. Why did I get a 3-wired voltmeter instead of the 2-wired voltmeter? This is perfect. Yes, it can read from 3.5 to 30 volts. It doesn't need an extra wire or separate source to power it. The same source supplies its power. But in my experience, this has been good for the 12 volt setup that I have. It works perfectly, it works flawlessly for what it was designed for, but it doesn't work with either I was given the 18650 batteries, or I picked it up, or someone gave it to me as a gift in the form of a power bank, but I'll touch more on it a bit later. So the limitation with this, when it comes with 18650 batteries, it does show the 4 volts in a blue color, but you can barely make it out. So this, now I decided, okay, just stick to volts, either 5 volts or above. Now coming to this 3-wired voltmeter, I love it, but there's a few things that does require some tweaking that you need to keep in mind. Yes, it is the specs is as it appears on this piece of paper. Yes, power source, it's via the black cable and the red cable. That is just to power this up, and then the same black cable and the yellow cable to read whatever it is, whatever volts it is that you want to read. In my experience, I haven't, let me say, the lowest volts I basically read with 18650 was maybe, I noticed though that below 3 volts, there was one of the cells that I forgot to actually read or charge up frequently, and actually died on me. It went way below 2 volts. It doesn't read anything, so I think I'd stick to the 3.7 volts from now. Plus I have a multimeter that I normally do the manual testing, but the problem with that is it's easy to forget. Time flies by quickly, and the way I currently have it rigged up, there's a small slide switch that I have to just switch it one way. It's like, ooh, the battery's still good, then switch it back off. And while I'm charging it, I flip it, but I will show more of this in the bit later in this video. So to wrap up this part of the video before I go and show you what's up, this is good for 18615 batteries in my experience, because it reads the volts range that I like, which this one cannot read. So this one goes down as far as I've mentioned before. I've read it at 3.6, maybe 3.5, but I'm quite happy with it. I'm really happy with it. So it does, you may have noticed, the astute viewer as yourself noticed that I chose option B, and that is to combine the red and the yellow together with the black. Now this, you see, it's actually very nice to do quick testings, and which is why I like it like this. The power draw is quite low. It's a pity I didn't record this, but it's very low. And green, it's quite soft on my eyes. So two options to power this up, as I've mentioned before, or mentioning now: red, black, power source, but then it must be, please pay attention to the 3.5 to 40 volts. That is the source if you want to have it up, hook it up that way and read it separately. But for my case, this is it. So let me take you over to the distribution box, or distribution board to be exact. So over to the distribution board, I have 1, 2, 3 batteries. Let me just switch this on for the views, for the purpose of helping me make my point clear. I'll get back to this shortly. So currently the volts on this battery is 4.02 volts. I'll just gently place the ring light one side. Let's pop open the hood. It's 5 18650s in parallel and 4.05 volts. I slightly overcharged it a bit, but I don't think it's a deal breaker. Those were batteries that were originally part of a laptop. So was this. This is basically 4 in parallel. Now something I really don't like about the default method of reading, oh please camera, don't toy with me. There are currently 3 LEDs on, 25%, 50, 75, 100%. So you see, even at 75%, it's not quite where I want it to be, because it's very close to the 3.7 volts that I'm aiming for. Yes, that's how it jumps around. It's not like 3.75, 3.76, and if it goes down for a moment, 3.75, 3.74, you get where I'm going with this. This actually enables me to bring it as close to the 4 volts that I require, and the light is quite bright in here. But guess what? This is a lot brighter than the last time. Of course, I made a video about this LED nightstand, even though it's not next to my bed, but I like it. So the batteries actually get to be useful. So if we go over to this Amplify power bank, as you can see, it has definitely seen better days. The problem with this power bank was micro USB port is gone, but the two USB-A ports still work together with the LED light. The issue I have with this, you see, even though it says 3.95 and it's technically close to fully charged, in my opinion, there's only one light being emitted, again 25, 50, 75, 100%. So this takes out a lot of the guessing that I normally had with this thing in the past, using the multimeter, popping it on, popping it off, which actually brings me to these cells. Now in the past, what I did was I tried just, like positive, cable to the positive side, negative, take the readings. The voltage was very out, it was like around 365, 37. I forgot about it. So I'm really sorry. This was cells that was part of my laptop's battery pack. I stripped it of its dignity, soldered it, and I maybe thought I'd be able to use it, but time, negligence, it is sad. But rest assured, any other 18650 battery cells in the future, bigger ones, which will be much bigger than this, will definitely receive one of these 3-wired voltmeters. So refurbished, made a mistake, and refurbished. This is just another way for me to allow these batteries to give me more useful life. This was actually a gift from my in-law, because they didn't see the purpose of it, and long before I got these wires, I normally charged it via the, where are those cells? Yes, it's basically TP4056, and I clamp it on and push the power through. Yep, here it is. Positive to positive, negative to negative. But one thing I've noticed though with the TP4056 circuit board, it is by default designed to push the voltage up all the way to 4.20, 4.25. But because the cells are so big and it's only pushing out 5 volts at 1 amp, it takes quite a long while to get this topped up. So also another benefit of these cells, it helps me monitor the voltages of each of these specs, and I've now become so accustomed to them that I more or less have an idea before the volts reaches 4 volts or 3.95. And I actually like it though. It's not really the best way to go about it, but I mean, this versus the alternative, can't even clearly distinguish. I know I was told that ladies can see 20% better color than men, so I can't use that as an excuse with these volt meters now on the scene. Which brings me to a last point. I'll try to keep this short. Now that I have this, look at that, doesn't she look pretty? Now that I have that in, let me just quickly unlock this. I won't show you my secret password or pattern. I came to a startling revelation. Of course, I was anticipating it, but anyway, just give it a few seconds. Oh yeah, this is also one of the projects. It's originally 6000 mAh, but now it's only powerful enough to actually view the app. As you can see, the Wi-Fi isn't on it. I used the SIM part of the phone to activate the Java student in Namibia. It's one of the packages offered by one of our mobile telecommunication companies, TN Mobile. So it's basically just good to activate that package, pop it back, and of course for this. So let's quickly see what was produced today. So originally I had this thing of the 4 best hours, and those 4 best hours will produce 100, 100, 100, 100, because I have 250 watt panels in series, old ones that were connected to this controller and the other one with the dusk to dawn feature. So of course this is not about it. I'll come back to why I want to just give you another example of why I ordered this 3 volt 3 wire voltmeters. So 30 days ago, as you can see, 200 consumption was way less. See 270, again consumption was way less. So this 22 represents the amount of power that came from those 2 panels through the controller to the battery. And of course, try as I might, charging AAA batteries, these power banks, and of course with these voltmeters, it helps me to take it to the parameters that I intend. It's very gentle on the batteries. The loads I use on this, it's like my smartwatch, USB fans, etc., etc. And here's another kicker. Let me take you to the load output. You see, now normally the battery rests. The next morning the rest voltage is 12.63 on average. So voltage reaches 12.90 consecutively without dropping below that. 2 minutes later it activates, and same story when it goes below 12.7 volts for extended periods of like 2 minutes. But if it pops back above 12.71 and goes back, then that recounts. Anyway, long story short, take you back to the history. As you can see, the rest voltage this morning 12.65. Now this, don't be alarmed by this 12.30. These were the days I was actually using the immersion heater, but I will touch on that in the next video. So generally speaking, 12.57, 12, wait, what did I see? 12, yeah, 12.57. So I'm mostly just using excess energy in this case, because I used to get upset about the idea of like these big corporations of overseas had to shut the solar panels down or the wind turbines because there was too much power, and then energy was basically wasted. So I don't have the right to lose my cool with what the guys are doing abroad if I barely handle what's happening right in the backyard. So in a nutshell, the deep cycle 150 amp battery rarely gets cycled. And as you can see, like the 100 watts, the 80 watts, the 140, 170, no, go back, 100. So these voltmeters then in a nutshell helps me keep it between 3.7 and 4 volts. Every little bit counts. I mean, until I get bigger loads or maybe bigger batteries. I saw this coming Black Friday lithium ion battery rated at 100 amps, 12 volt battery. So the price, it's between 3,400 to 3,500 NAM dollars. I might get hold of that next year. And then of course this, let me not spoil the next video. So quick summary, the 3 wired voltmeter, it's a must if you're dealing with 18650 batteries or maybe sodium ion batteries. I would love to get my hands on that. The 2 shops I inquired from via AliExpress told me sadly they can't send me those if I make an order or pay for transport, etc., etc., they won't be able to send me those batteries over. Would have loved to get my hands on that, but this is why I personally do also believe it will be useful for that. This, as you can see, the blue color, it's perfect for say voltages 5 and up. If you're interested in getting this, maybe you already have them, maybe I'm late to the party, but I'm still thrilled about the idea of having a voltmeter that can actually read, and of course now it's on for illustration purposes and when charging it or discharging it if I'm curious. But if I want to pack it away, then just flip the slide switch. So load is on. I think that's about enough. Nah, normally don't mess around with the trends. So thank you for watching. Wow, it's actually 14 minutes. Goodness, I hope I said something useful. If I did, I hope it really served you well, maybe notified you, maybe sparked a project that you always wanted to go for. Thank you for watching till the end, and see you in the next one. Why is this thing still on? Switch it off. Perfect.